habits, your hangups, and your hiding, they're affecting your career brand more than your resume ever could. Let me say that again for the ones in the back. Career success is not determined by how many hours you grind or how many certifications you have. It is shaped by the habits you've built, the mindset you carry, and the way you show up or shrink in the spaces that truly matters. And if you have been feeling stuck, unseen, or constantly overlooked, this might be the real reason why. But before we get started on how these three things damage your career brand, let's get grounded. When I talk about your career brand, I'm not talking about your resume or your LinkedIn aesthetics. I'm talking about the vehicle to your career success, as you define success, of course. And that vehicle is your personal brand. But here's the catch. That vehicle needs intentionality. Are you in the driver's seat or are you riding shotgun? Letting fear, people pleasing, and survival mode take the wheel. In order to build a personal brand that moves your career forward, you need to activate three key drivers that are authentic to you. The first one is your value. What are the solutions that you deliver? Next is your voice. How do you articulate and express the solutions that you deliver? And next is your visibility. How do others see and get to experience the solutions that you deliver? Your personal brand is the story people ultimately tell about you when you're not in the room. And if you're not intentional about that story, your habits, your hangups, and your hiding will start writing it for you. And this ultimately impacts the career brand that you create. So are we grounded? Great. Let's get started. Let's start with habits. These are the default behaviors that are silently shaping your brand. Are you overworking to prove yourself? Are you saying yes to everything? Are you delaying delivery of a project or delaying sending an email because it's not perfect yet? These aren't just quirks. They're actually habits that dilute the power of your value. And you could be brilliant, but if your energy is scattered or your brilliance is buried under busyness, your value won't land and your brand will ultimately reflect that. All right. So next, let's talk about your hangups. This is the internal stuff, the stuff you have been carrying around like, I'm not qualified yet. They won't take me seriously. Or maybe you're battling imposter syndrome or even intruder syndrome every time you open your mouth in a meeting. But here's how this is affecting you. Hang-ups silence your voice. And when your voice is quiet, uncertain, or hidden, the world doesn't get to fully experience your brilliance. One thing I know for sure, and 10 things I know for certain, is that your voice is your power. It's how you advocate for you. It is how you influence, and it's how you own the spaces that you're in. And without it, your brand loses its depth and distinction. Now, let's talk about hiding. This one actually cuts deep. Hiding doesn't always look like silence. Sometimes it looks like adapting. Sometimes it looks like shrinking, masking, code switching in the name of assimilation, right? Trying to blend in just to survive. But the truth is, you cannot be visible if you are not being you. Visibility isn't just about being seen. It's about being seen as your true, full self. Visibility is not about being everywhere. It's about being undeniably you wherever you are, rooted in authenticity and not performance. So when you hide, your brand becomes blurry, and blurry brands don't get opportunities. So let's connect the dots. Your habits impact your value. Your hangups silence your voice. And when you hide, you minimize your visibility. And all of that shapes the story that your personal brand ultimately tells and ultimately the career brand that you create. So if you're not showing up with intention, then your default behaviors, your fears, and your silence will define your brand for you. So what I want to encourage you to do is to reflect on which one of this may be showing up the strongest for you right now. And I want you to ask yourself, is there a habit that I need to release? Is there a hang up I need to reframe? Or is there a way I've been hiding that I'm ready to let go of? Because what I know for sure is that your personal brand is your power, but only if you are the one driving it. Now, if this message resonated, I want you to do me a favor and I want you to subscribe to my channel. And I also want you to share this with someone who needs the shift. And I also want you to check the description below because I've got a free resource to help you build your career brand with bold authenticity. Let's stop letting silence, survival, or self-doubt shape your brands. It's time to show up different.